And we're live. Good morning, traders. How are you doing today? Today is September 16th, 2025. Market opens in about 5 minutes. It is 7:24 my time. And if you're all new, my name is Johnny, and we go live every morning for about 30 minutes. Give you live market updates, show you the overall sentiment and direction of the market, as well as any companies or stocks that may pop up at market open or sell off. Excited to be here with you all today. Yesterday we were at the zoo, took the family to the free zoo day in Denver, and that was the reason why we missed the live stream. We'll talk more about that later. QQQ pushing up to 593.98. That is an insane high for the overall market, touching almost $600 now in pre-market, crossing over that moving average, indicating signs of some selling pressure, and it did. It sold off down to that low of 592. So today for the overall market, we're looking at 592.50. If it breaks that as a support, we can see more selling pressure, or at least enough selling pressure to get a significant dip and then possibly a rally or bounce up. But that looks like the level there. 593.98 is a new high for QQQ. Now this is the NASDAQ market. You know, I think 50% of it's made up of technology stocks, companies like Apple, Nvidia, Amazon, Google, Tesla. Now Tesla, in some news, has had a lot of news articles in recent days. On the 12th, lawsuit says Musk Tesla hires Visa holder instead of Americans so it can pay less. Tesla Inc. faces class action lawsuit for alleged security fraud. Tesla's German plant plans to lift production, factory boss tells DPA news agency. I mean, it's insane. 9:15, Musk says Samsung fab in Texas will make A16, not A15. Tesla shares rise after Musk buys more than 2.5 million shares. Tesla jumps after Musk acquires EV makers shares worth $1 billion. A nice little spike from 402 to 430. Another news article, easing autonomous vehicle regulations will begin Tesla's next chapter. And then pre-market this morning, New York Times Business News. We'll have to see what that is. And then just now at 5:23 in the morning, U.S. opens probe into 174,000 Tesla Model Y cars over door handle failures. Not allowing people to either get in their door or out of their door. So Tesla's having issues. Nonetheless, up to 414 pre-market. Now, going into crypto real quick. Bitcoin is at 115.5. It did touch that 107, and we called it out. 107, 105, 110 would be great areas to buy before it pushes up again. And here we go. Nice horizontal pattern forming and now pushing up. Are we going to see those highs of 125 again, or are we going to push down and see those lows of 107 again, or a potential bounce off of like 113, 112? Nonetheless, I did buy me some Bitcoin down at that 107, 108, and 109 level. And then once it started shooting up past 110, I'm going to let ride, okay? Now, can't buy Bitcoin on this platform. It's not available, so I do use Robinhood. You could use Coinbase or a variety of other companies. Sound is a company that we have been holding over the weekend, and been waiting for this to basically pop up a little bit more. Now yesterday, when I was literally driving to the museum, we left early around 6:30, and I noticed it was sticking around 14s, 1430s. and has a huge pop up to 1520s, and we did alert the Discord when that happened. I do want you guys to know that. That's why it's important. If you like this style of trading and you want to learn more and get more familiar with it, then definitely consider checking out the Discord, because that's where I give you, those trade ideas throughout the day, those alerts. When am I buying? When am I selling? Am I adding more? Am I taking some off? Am I locking in profits? Am I cutting my losses? Because I can't always be live, so that would help to mitigate that. So yeah, we called out the group. So if you want to know those levels when we see them, when we call them out, before and after these live streams too, because sometimes I'll see something during pre-market, I'm like, oh, this is too good. So let's see what it does here. Looks like we're doing good. 1430. Now we may just buy a little bit more, just for the simple fact that it is maintaining this level here. I don't want to get caught missing out on the rally. You guys are all having a great day. Market is officially open. It is 7:30. We're going to see some selling pressure from sound. Love to get a better entry on it, so we're just going to hold off for a minute here, kind of see what the overall direction is. Looks like we are getting some selling pressure. And it's funny, I've been live this whole time and I have not even shared my link. Share, copy. That is a big oops. Big oops. There we go. Oh, that's okay. At least we're here. We're live. We've been live. You guys can go back, whoever's tuning in, and kind of hear what I have to say. Okay, we got a low of 14. Touch that 14 level pretty much. Let's see if it holds around 14, or are we going to get more selling pressure below 14, maybe down to 12s, 12.6s, something like that. It is below that moving average on the 1 hour and the 30-minute. 4 hour, it looks like that moving average is about 1370. So it'd be nice to see a pullback to 1370. But right now, this big candle here came all the way down to 1408 and now pushing back up to 1420s. On sound. You guys are all having a great start to your day, and I hope it gets just a little bit better. Okay, push in. See what the overall market's doing. Selling off. Okay, like to see it. More selling pressure we get from the market, the cheaper everything will become. And we're waiting for that rebound. Are we going to get a rebound off of this moving average on the 5, or are we going to get some more selling pressure? Looks like we're getting a nice little bounce so far. That'll also determine the direction of sound a little bit more. Would have been nice to get a little bit at 1408. Or even right at 14. Yeah, 1408 would have been sweet. 1410 even. Okay, looks like it's going down. QQQ, selling off below that support and moving average on the 5-minute. Okay, so we lost that moving average and that support on the pre-market level, so don't even need that anymore. Now what's interesting too is we've been following TQQQ for so long. It was down in the 80s, it was down in the 70s, 60s, and now it officially touches $100 in the pre-market session for TQQQ. What a crazy long run. Could have simply just held your held your money, and it would have pushed up. Okay, markets are selling off still. What else do we got? LWDS pushing up from 6s to 7s. Open door trying to hold at 930, but a huge sell-off this morning. Oracle selling off. CoreWeave pushing up today, up about 3%. VIX is getting significantly higher than what I like to see, right? Once we get up to these 19, 20 level, we're going to see some major selling pressure in the market. SPY trying to hold above this moving average here. Same with QQQ. We could see a bounce, to be honest. We could see a nice bounce off of QQQ to some new highs. Looks like it's already setting up. Big red tail, or big tail red candle here for a nice reversal setup. It could be a fake out as well. Okay, we could pop up and then sell off even more. So new low on the day right now, 591.88. And markets are looking bearish, guys. Markets are looking bearish, at least for the moment here. For this moment in time, let's see what happens. Sells off more. We can get a cheaper price maybe on Sound. Sound up to 14.25. Yeah, I like looking at the 5-minute time frame. And it did not hold very well on that moving average. Okay, markets are still dropping. I hope you guys are all having a great start to your day. Good morning, good morning. All right, alert is going off for Sound at 14:05. Gonna add a little bit here. Okay, overall market pushing down. Let's see if it holds. If not, we will get some more selling pressure. Looks like it's trying to hold. It's pushing up. 592. $592.12. 592.10. Okay, markets are still going into the red. Here we go. $14.05 could be a good entry. 14.01 was solid. Okay, I'm going to add right here. We're going to add here as it is holding slightly on 14. For a nice bounce back up. And not just a 14.40, but potentially 15. So if we get a nice $14 average, pushes up to 15, you know, even 15.50, you're looking at $1.50 per share. There's even some analysts saying you can get up to 17 again. So, you know, very interesting, but this could be a day trade, could be more of a swing trade. Now we're pushing up. Got a nice amount of shares here. We get another one here. What? Come on, pull back just enough. Might miss on this one. 14.6. Oh, there we go. Okay. So there we go. Now we are solid. Average price 14.31. 14.31 at the moment. Always add more. Get this average down even lower. WLDS up 5%. Ooh, beautiful. Or it was up 5%. It was up 10%. Now it's not so much. How's the stream quality, guys? It says it's green. Nope, it's red again. Go ahead and delete this. There we go. Is that better? Should be slightly better. Open door. Potential long on open door. Could go up very nicely from 9 to 974. QQQ 592 and trying to hold above that 591 level. Again, this can sell off substantially. Can't hold this 45 EMA, as you can see here. If I delete this, if it can hold this level, we can see it pull back to previous support levels, which would be this resistance level. So doesn't mean it has to happen. Could happen. It could easily bounce right off, and we can make our way back up to 595s, 594s, 560s, or it can sell off slightly. But right now, it looks like it's good. MACD's starting to curl over. Was hoping to see sound push up with the market as well. How's Nvidia doing? Nvidia's pushing up. Sound down to 13.99. So it looks like this is going to sell off more than expected. Right below that green moving average. On the 1 hour, right? On the 5 minute, it's way below it. It's at that 14 level. Doesn't seem like it's able to hold though. We're going to see what happens. It's very possible it sells off more. It's below this moving average and having trouble getting above it on the 30 minute. Looks decent on the 4-hour, but doesn't mean too much. The daily, it's obviously overbought. It is selling off though. $13.98. New low, $13.96. I think this is a new low. $13.91 was actually a low a few days ago. So see if it bounces off of $13.91. If not, it'll be going back to those $12.60, $12.80 levels. QQQ. Well, that's also why. Got some more selling pressure on the overall market. Yeah, we're not down much at all. A buck. That's why it's nice to have a very small position size when you're first starting. Loading up in that consolidation period, and then as it starts to push up, that's when you could really get heavy and serious and load up. QQQ selling off more. Very decent sell-off. Open door pushing up still from 897 to 925. WLDS pushed all the way back up. They're now up 10%. GoPro selling off. Trying to hold above that level. Very overbought for sure. Oracle holding its ground. CoreWeave selling off. SPY and NASDAQ selling off. But trying to hold at that level. Sound trying to hold around $14. RSI is extremely oversold, indicating signs that it could potentially reverse, right? 3 stages of reversal: rejection, consolidation, and then confirmation. That's what I would love to see here. Rejection, rejection period. What the heck? Rejection period, kind of like a consolidation period, and then a nice little confirmation up would be something we'd want to see. Loading up between, 1390s, 1405 would be like our loading zone to buy. And then once we get that breakout 1405 and it pushes up, then we're looking at, locking in profits up here at 1450s, or even way up here if it could pass that moving average, right? Kind of right there. If it could pass that moving average, it could push up even higher. So we could see some really nice, from 14 to 1450s, 2-3% to 15s, looking at 7% to 1550s, about 10%. So it's definitely possible. What's our stops? Our stops are going to be right below it. So we're talking like 13, maybe 1385, depending on your risk tolerance. You're buying at 14, you're risking 15 cents to make 50 cents, or maybe you're risking 10 cents. 1390 is your stop loss, 1390. So now you have a very small stop right here, right? You're buying at 14s in this range. It breaks that 1390 stop loss, you're out. So you're risking, 10 cents a share It's not a lot. If it pushes up, you can make 50 cents. That's a 1 to 5 ratio, a 1 to 3 ratio, just getting up to that 14.30. So it's good to know. It's good to know your risk to reward ratios as well. So that's kind of what we're looking at for sound today. I would love to see that. We're going to be patient. I think QQQ isn't necessarily going to sell off a ton, but I do believe it's going to hold and maintain around this level. But again, it doesn't have to. Just my opinion. Sound have any news? Tesla, Robo AI, Rambus, Tesla Sat, and other big stocks moving higher on Monday. So they pushed up higher on Monday. Now we're getting some of that selling pressure today. Sound rose 5% yesterday. We saw that when it hit 1525s. What was it? 1521s. So very nice high on the day. 1390 is technically our stop. Is it holding 1390 or is it going to sell off even more? QQQ potentially holding, trying to scare everyone out of their position. So that way when it pushes up, everyone misses out on the rally. So sometimes it's good not to have a stop too close. You know, it's at 1390, we just hit it. Maybe your stop's at 1389, right? 1 cent below 1390. So you don't get stopped out by accident. And here we go. More selling pressure. That's a very light position, so that you would have been stopped out. That trade didn't go according to plan. And now we're waiting for that setup. I did say at the beginning of this live stream, it can come all the way down to 1371s. And it looks like it's going to very easily come down to those 1371s. So that'll be our next point of interest. 1371s, right along with that moving average. And again, I have a very light position, guys. You know, you don't have to copy my trades. Very, very light position. And that trade plan, I hope that made sense to you. 1383 would be the lowest we've been in a while as far as this company in the recent, you know, at least days, weeks. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these lines. We're going to get rid of this line as well. As you can see very clearly where that green moving average is on the 30, how it got rejected. And now this is that final hope here, final hoorah. QQQ, 591.10. Yeah, I think we're going to get some definitely see some selling pressure today for sure from the markets. This also tested this on the 30-minute, didn't hold. It's going to test it on the 1 hour potentially at 590s. Let's see 590s today. SoFi, pretty much everything's selling off today. Amazon pushing up a little. Apple pushing up really nice. Oracle up 5, almost 5%. VIX is up. That's a little scary. Doing much either. I know there's some people going long on this. Even more. I mean, this thing used to be $2. It used to be $1. Now it's in that $9–10 range, and not even in a long amount of time. Like that was actually a very short amount of time. We're talking a month, 30 days. Not much at all. QQQ trying to hold here. So let's see if there's any news being reported tomorrow. There's like Fed rate cuts and stuff as well. So let's see. See anything today? Nothing too crazy. Tomorrow, crude oil inventories. And at market close, we have the FOMC meeting. And the Fed interest rate decision. So they're talking about making a 1/4 point rate cut. So it's, right now we're at 4.5%. They want to bring it down to 4.25%. So we'll see what happens, if that actually happens or not. All right, all right. Markets look like they are trying to hold, but still continue to sell off. I'm going to put this line right here. The 1 hour. Sound down to 1374. Again, 1371 is right there along with that moving average. 1371. Is it going to hold? Like it's potentially going to bounce right off of that moving average. That would be nice to see. What a crazy sell-off from Sound. Went all the way back down to retest that moving average. We're going to take these off. Going to bring our alert back down to 14. If it moves above 14, we'll be alerted, and then I will let the Discord members know. If we get up below 1371, which is the moving average on the 4-hour time frame, then we'll be alerted, and I will alert you guys as well. Right now, down about 2% on a very small position, only 10 shares. I like to go very light on shares when I start out. That way we can catch them on that consolidation period. We just explained it about 5 minutes ago. Go back and watch it. But basically we're buying between 1380s and 14s, waiting for that to push up 1450s, $15. If you got in at 1370s, great job. As long as the overall market's pushing up, Sound will push up as well. Same with Nvidia. Again, we just need Nvidia to push up. As long as they continue to rise, these other companies will follow. Recent news we missed for Nvidia. Again, $4.2 trillion company has more assets than overall QQQ Invesco does. Okay, so it heavily influences the market. And a ton of news on Monday morning. UK-US to sign multi-billion-dollar tech deal during Trump's visit, energy deal. China reaches framework deal on TikTok. Trump and Xi speak on Friday. Nvidia falls after China says it's violated anti-monopoly law. Stock and dollar hold firm at start of action-packed week. The U.S. Trade Secretary Bessent says framework of deal on TikTok reached. U.S. Trade Secretary Bessent says framework of deal on TikTok. Oh, it's the same thing. Stock hits fresh record highs. Dollar weakens as market position for Fed move. And then going into after hours yesterday, stock hits fresh high. Director reports disposal of Nvidia Corporation common shares. And then overnight hours, UK's Starmer hopes Trump's royal welcome will shield him from pitfalls. And then the global market, Asia stock scale new highs, dollar weakens as investors eye Fed cut again. So a lot going on in the markets. China and Hong Kong stock flat as market high trade war developments. It's very interesting. There's a lot happening. QQQ trying to hold at that 591 level. Sound also trying to push up from those lows that we just seen. Everything is trying to just push up slightly. Is Nvidia going to hold on this 45 EMA and push up, or is it going to get rejected on the 200 MA and begin to sell off even more? Or are we just going to get this, just more barcode, more consolidation? All right, well, guys, it is 8:02. This is where we're going to end the live stream. Hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to follow, subscribe to the channel first off, and definitely go check out the Discord. We have a ton of free content, a lot of helpful videos. We even have a Learn to Earn lesson library where you can learn more about what these indicators mean, these moving averages, and all this other interested. So subscribe, smash the like button, and we will see you all over in the Discord. It's 100% free to join, lifetime access. That's where you'll get all my updates on any future trades or trade ideas I may have, or just any news alerts, stock alerts I think are interesting enough to share with you all. So we will see you all over there. Have a great day, and remember, let's end the year on a green note.